Hi, this is Dana with Designs by Dana, and this is going to be your gauge swatch and for the pattern for the lace cardigan. You're going to need to do about 4 rows and then measure, and then that will give you to tell you what close to what needle size you need to use to do this pattern. So you're going to first start out by chaining 22, and I would say use a middle size needle like a G or H, because this pattern was done with a J. That person's tension was a J. So you could start with a J, you could start with one down, or one or two down if you're tight, and one up if you're a loose crocheter. So do your 22 and stop the tape, and then when you're ready, we'll do the first row. There's only 2 rows, and you're going to do the second row a couple of times, and then you'll measure. Okay, so the first row is you're going to skip 2 chains, and that first 2 chains is going to count as a double crochet, and so you're going to double into the next 4. So when you're skipping the 2, you're going to double crochet into the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, then after you do the 4, you're going to skip 2 chains, and you're going to double in the next 4. Skip 2 and then double in the next 4. And you're going to chain 2 and double in the next 4. You're going to skip 2 chains and double in the next 3. So by now, down to the last one, you're going to do 2 doubles, which is an increase in the last one. This is going to be a little bit similar to what you're doing, but they just kind of cut this short so that you can get your gauge. Now that's row 1. So now we're going to chain up 3, and we're going to turn our work, and we're going to double in the first stitch. That's an increase. And then we're going to double into the next 3 stitches. And then you're going to skip 2 stitches, and you're going to double crochet into the next 3 stitches. Or maybe that's wrong. Let me back up, because my husband walked in here. Let's go back to the beginning. The beginning is you're going to do a double in the first stitch. You chain 3, a double in the first one. Then you're going to do 3 doubles. Okay? And then you're going to skip 2 stitches, and you're going to double into the next 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, double into the next 3. And then you're going to see that chain 2 space. You're going to put a double crochet, 2 chains, and a double crochet in that chain 2 space. Okay, then you're going to double into the next 3 stitches, which are doubles. So you're going to double, double, and double. And you're going to skip 2 and double into the next 3. 1, 2, 3. And then in the top of that turning chain, you're going to put 2 doubles. Okay? Actually, it tells you to do 2 or 3 or 4 more rows. Normally, I don't need to do that many. The gauge for this pattern is 1 pattern repeat equals 10 stitches or 3 inches. So with the height, they're saying you got to go up at least 3 inches so that you can get 10 stitches in it, because they need to know that that's where they're doing the gauge at. So they're saying 10 stitches equals 3 inches. And so what I would do was I would count out, I'd start in the middle here, and then I would count out 10 stitches. So here's 4, and here's 4, that's 8. And these 2 in the middle make 10 stitches. So then I would measure that. And if that measurement is anywhere near 3, then the needle I'm using, the hook I'm using, is a good hook for this pattern. So let's see if I can find my measurement. So I take my little measure and I hook it at the end, and I hook it over to the end of there. And if I was to turn this around and show you, you'll see that it's exactly 3 inches for me. And like I told you, well, in the pattern I tell them, I already know what my gauge is for this pattern because I've done it so many times. But those 10 stitches, here's 3 right here. Those 10 stitches represent the 3 inches that are required for this pattern. So if yours are more or less, then you have to change your hook size until you get it right. So you would take this loose, rewind, do it again with another hook. So if it was, say if you measured it and you had 2 inches, you know you got to go up in your size of hook. And so once you find the right size, you might have to do this 2 or 3 times. And then once you start learning gauge, that little time is really, 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 really important, because that's going to affect your pattern when you do it. So like I said, with this particular one, I already knew what my gauge size was, and I used a eye hook. And even though the pattern was done with a, what I say, a J? 6 mm, size 6. So that's how you do gauge. So I just gave you the pattern, rewind it, rewind the tape, do these 2 rows, take your measuring tape, count out 10 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and those 2 chains are part of the stitch for this pattern. So that right there, those are 10 stitches. And if you measure from point A to point B, you should get 3 inches. And if you don't, if you're just a little off, that's fine. But if you're a lot off, you need to change your hook size. I would start somewhere in the middle with my hook, a G or H, if this is your first time doing it. And I hope that's helpful. And if I could be of more help, just hit me up, and I'd be more than happy to help you, though. So now you'll need to find the lace cardigan done by me, and you can go ahead and start your pattern. Enjoy. Hello, this is Dana with Designs by Dana. Thank you for pushing the click button and coming over and saying hi. I want to work with you today on making a cardigan, a lace cardigan, something similar to this one. This one, however, was made with thread. And I made my earrings last night from pineapple pattern I got off of, what is it, OVW? Yeah, a remix. And no, I didn't put any starch on mine. I just like them hanging like that. But anyway, we're talking about the lace cardigan that you want to learn how to do. Very simple pattern. Just need to follow along. Now I will give you a link to go and get the pattern if you would like. And I'm going to need some participation from you at this point if you don't have the pattern in front of you. If you could get and write this down, it's not a lot, but it's enough so we can keep going. We can keep rolling with this. I'm going to stop this tape at about under 15 so that I can make sure I get it uploaded, and then we'll do another one. It may take me altogether 3 to get this finished, but we'll go for it. Just hang in there with me. I'm really going to try to make this a success for you. So what I need you to do on a piece of paper, and what I did, this is just my little cheat sheet. I wrote going across this way. I made columns, and in the first column I want you to put an S for small, medium, large, and extra large. Okay, so if you could do that for me. And then above the small, I'd like you to write 47. Above the medium, I'd like you to write 50. Above the large L, I'd like you to write 62. And above the extra large, I'd like you to write 68. Those numbers represent how many chain stitches you're going to have to do in order to start this pattern. This pattern is started from the neck down. Okay? Then up underneath those small, medium, large, and extra large, I need you to write the bust size. So under small, I need you to write 33, under medium 36, under large 42, and for extra large 48. Okay, and then I'd like you to put up underneath that 4 rows. Row 1, row 2, row 3, and row 4. And going across up under the small, medium, large, and extra large, I'm going to give you some numbers. Those numbers are going to represent how many stitches you are supposed to have at the end of that row. Thank God this pattern is only 5 rows. Okay? And then you can go with that and manipulate it any way you want. Waist length, hip length, knee length, ankle length, floor length, whatever you like. You can just have as much fun with it as you like. But let's just really get you through the basic part of it. So the numbers that I'm going to give you, I need you to write down, because if you decide to make this garment for somebody else, a loved one, as a gift, whatever you like to do, you'll have this information. So for row 1, I want you to write 60 under the small, 64 under the medium, 80 under the large, and 88 under the extra large. For row 2, I'm just going to give you the numbers: 90, 96, 120, and 132. For row 3, 120, 128, 160, and 176. And then for row 4, 150, 160, 200, and 220. That's all you need. So, if you know what your gauge is, and you get your hook, the person that did this pattern used a J. My gauge is an I. I'm using an I. So what I need you to do is decide which one you're going to make, small, medium, and large. Pick that number count, and let's get started. What I'm going to have you do first is I'm going to show you how I start my chain. I just do a slip stitch, and this is not for for beginners. I'm not going to really be going slow. I'm just going to tell you what you need, because it's a lot. And then to be able to hold your attention we can't be dragging this. So like I said, I'm going to do a slip knot. I leave a tail of about 3 inches and I weave that in while I'm making my chains. And for me, I just get them out of my way. So you can make a longer chain if you, longer tail if you like, 5 or 6. I just normally do 3 to 4. Okay, so go ahead and do your whatever you need. I just need to do 47. And if yours is 50 or 62 or 68, go ahead and do that. So you can go ahead and stop the tape right now. And when you're done, we'll be at the end and we'll start row 1. You ready? Okay, row 1. This row is going to be a half double. And we're going to put the half double in the 3rd chain from the hook. I use the back of the chain versus the front because I find that I have a cleaner finish and I'm able to use the stitches when I need to go back and border my neckline. So in case you forgot how to do a half double, you're going to yarn over, you're going to go in the 3rd chain from the hook and you're going to go into the work, you're going to pull up a loop, you're going to have 3 loops on board, you're going to yarn over and drop off all 3, and that is a half double complete. Alright, so what I say from this point to the end is going to be the pattern. So you can just rewind if you forget what you're doing. So I'm going to skip a chain and I'm going to put a half double in the next chain. I'm going to chain 2 and I'm going to put a half double in the next chain. I'm going to skip a chain and I'm going to put a half double in the next chain. I'm going to chain 2 and I'm going to put a half double in the next chain. I'm going to skip a chain and I'm going to put a half double in the next chain. I need you to do that all the way to the end. When you get to the last one, stop. Don't put anything in the last one. This is what it looks like. And your chain 2 spaces, we will be using them on row 2. Stop the tape or rewind it and finish out. Okay, you're back? We're at the end. We have 1 chain left. We are going to put an increase in the end. And we're going to yarn over and we're going to go into that chain with a half double and we're going to go back into it with another. That was an increase. We're at the end of row 1. What I need you to do is to pull up a loop. I need you to count your stitches. And how you're going to do that is you're going to count each half double, not counting the chain 2, just each half double, and then you're going to come back and count the chain 2 spaces. You're going to add those 2 numbers together and you should either have 60, 64, 80, or 88 depending on small, medium, large, extra large. Let me show you with mine and you can tell me what I did. So I'm going to count by 2s. It's easier for me. I'm going to count the half doubles first. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. 32 in the back of my head. I'm going back and I'm going to count my chain 2 spaces. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. Wow! 28 and 32 equals 60. That means I'm right. So hopefully at the end of your row, you have the number that you need. If you don't go any further. Stop, rewind, take it out, and do it again. When you come back, we'll be starting with row 2. All right, you're back? Good. That means you had a success and you were able to come up with the right numbers. So let's start row 3 and we'll finish row 3 and we'll stop this tape and I'll start a new one. So on row 3, we are going to now do all double crochets. We're done with the half doubles. We are going to chain up 3. And the reason we're chaining up 3 is because chain 3 is the height or the turning chain for a double crochet. In that first stitch, half double, you're going to place 2 double crochets, which is the increase. So you're going to put 2 double crochets in there. And then you're going to do, let me make sure that I'm telling you right. Yeah. Then you're going to jump right over to the chain 2 space and we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in that chain 2 space. So did you get it? Here we go. We're going to go over to the chain 2 space and we're going to put 2 doubles, then a chain 2, and then 2 doubles. Let's do it again. We're going to jump over to the next chain 2 space and we're going to put 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 doubles. We're going to do that all the way to the end. When you get to that last chain 2 space and you put 2 doubles, 2 chains, and 2 doubles in there, stop and wait for me. Okay, you ready? You should be at the end of row 2 and you should be in that last chain 2 space. Okay, I've changed colors. And what you have left is 2 half doubles and a chain 3. What I need you to do is to skip the first half double, go into the last one with a double crochet, and then in that chain 3 space or into the top of that chain 3, I need you to put an increase. So I need you to put 2 double crochets in that top of that chain 3 or in that space right there if you can get it in there. It's easier to get in the space than it is to get it there. Got it? That is the end of row 2. What I need you to do now at the end of row 2 is, guess what? Count. You should have row 2 written down, and you're going to count the same way. You're going to go to the other end. You're not going to count the chain 3. You're only going to count the doubles now, not half doubles, doubles. So you count every double, and you're going to count it all the way to the end. Write down that number, go back, and only do the chain 2 spaces and count them by 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. Add that number together. You should have, for row 2, 90, 96, 120, or 132. And once you have that, you'll be ready to go to the next video or the next tutorial. Yes, it looks a little wavy like that. It's supposed to look a little wavy like that because we are increasing. And what happens is this lays around your neck like this. You're framing out your body right now. So in the next couple rows, it'll come out to here, and then it's going to come down. And once we get it to about right here, you're going to start your armhole. Very simple. You're going to love it. So go ahead, finish that out, and we'll pick up together on the beginning of row 3. You're going to love it. Hi, this is Dana with Designs by Dana, and in case you've lucked in on this tutorial by mistake and you'd like to join us, you need to go back to part 1 and also look up the gauge swatch, and that information is down in the description. Okay, those of you who are ready to go ahead and start row 3, I'm going to walk you through row 3, get you to the end, and then we're going to turn around and start row 4, in row 4, and pick up on row 5. Okay, so to get you started, I'm trying to get as much time as I can in 15 minutes. So we are on row 3, and what I need you to do is to chain up 3. Okay, and you're going to put an increase in that first stitch. Okay, that would be 2 double crochets. Then in the next stitch you're going to put a double crochet, skip 2, double crochet. You're at the top of the chain 2 space. You need to put 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Coming down, you're going to skip 2, going back up, you're going to do a double crochet, then you're going to be at the top of the chain, 2 space, and then you need to put in there an increase of 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and come down. Alright, and I'm going to explain to you that in the next row 4 will be our last increase, and I'll explain to you why when we get to 4. But I want you to finish out row 3, same pattern, only you're adding 1 extra double crochet on the sides of the chain 2 space. So coming down from the chain 2 space, you're going to do a double crochet, skip 2, go up with a double crochet into the chain 2 space with the 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles, come down with 1 double crochet, skip 2, double crochet, back up to the chain 2 space, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. I'm going pretty quick with you on this. By now you should pretty much know the pattern, and I'd like to get, like I said, as much information in this video as possible. So hit the pause button and meet me at the end. Okay, if you're at the end, I want you to get to the top of the last chain, 2, in row 3. Okay, I need you to come down 1 with a double crochet. Then I need you to skip 2, and then you're going to have a double crochet and a chain 3 left. So these will both be increases. So I need you to put 2 double crochets and then 2 double crochets in the chain 3 space. I need you to pause and then count. So for row 3, your numbers are for small 120, for medium 128, for large 160, and for for extra large 176. Those are how many stitches you should have. And in case you forgot what you're counting, you are counting all the double crochets in that row, not including the chain 3, and then you're going back and counting the chain 2 spaces by 2. Add those 2 numbers together and you will come up with the numbers that you need. Alright, when you're ready, we will start row 4. Row 4, we're going to start out with chain 3. And we're going to put an increase, and this is the last row for increase. You're going to put 2 doubles in the first stitch, and you're going to put double crochet, double crochet. You're going to skip 2 stitches, and you're going to go up and put a double crochet, double crochet. You should be at the top of the chain 2, and you're going to put in 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles. We'll go down and up one more time. You're coming down with a double crochet, skip 2 stitches, up, double crochet, into the chain 2 spaces with 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. This is just a tip because this is going to be the last increase row. If you happen to be extra bussy and you want a little bit more room up there, do another row of row 4. Do row 4 twice. That'll give you a lot more fabric to work with up there. And if you're hippie in an area and you're going to make it long, you can put a row down there. Just come back with that increased row. I would say just pick row 4 again and do that one. And in your behind area, if you got a little bit of more stuff in your trunk back there, you can increase back along that area by just measuring, and then put in the increase only in that area. So there's a lot of ways that you can manipulate this this pattern. So we're going to continue that, and I'll meet you at the end of row 4. And when we get to the end of the row 4, I'll tell you what to do. I'm going to go down with you. If you want to catch up with me, I'm going to start at the top of the chain 2 space. Okay? So I'm at the top of the chain 2 space with my increase, and I'm coming down. So I come down 2 double crochets, I skip 2 stitches, I go up 2 double crochets, and then I'm now up into the chain 2 space with my 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. I'm coming down, double crochet, skipping 2, up 2 double crochets, double crochet, double crochet. I'm into the top of the chain 2, and I'm doing my increase. 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. And so I really think by now you don't want to hear me keep going on and on and on. But I'm just trying to give you as much information as I can. This is my first time really doing a whole pattern like this. I'm used to teaching a class in front of people and not being on time restrictions, and thinking about what I have to say and making sure that everybody can understand me. So this is new to me, but hopefully have been a blessing to you. That's my ultimate goal, is to be used as His vessel to be a blessing, because this can be such a soothing art, what we do here. Okay, I'm at the bottom. So you ready for the end row 4? We're going to skip 2, and then there's going to be 2 doubles and a chain 3 left. So we're going to put a double crochet after we skip the 2. Then we're going to do an increase in the last double and an increase in the top of the chain 2. Okay, and when you look at it, there's going to be 5 doubles right there. 2 increases and 1 double. That's the end of your increase, unless you choose to do another row. Then your numbers and your figures will be different. So at the end of row 4, you are going to have 150, 160, 200, or 220. Okay? So now let's start row 5. In row 5, there will be no more increasing. So we're going to chain up 3. We're going to turn our work. And somewhere in there you should have stopped, counted, and then came back. And then I need to look at my time. So I'm looking good, I think. So all you do is you put a double in the first. And then you come down with 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. You skip 2, and you go up 3. And then you're at the top of the heel or in the chain 2 space. And now in here you're only going to do a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. Okay, now we have stopped the increase. We're going to go down to the valley, 3 doubles, go down 3. You're going to skip 2, and you're going to go back up the heel with 3 more doubles. When we get to the top of the heel, which is your chain 2, you're going to put 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. And then kind of just look back at your work, because every now and then you use for the last 4 or 5 rows, doing doubles in these, but now we're only going to do no increase in these. So we're coming down, and you come down with 3 double crochets, skip 2, and go up. And when you get to the top again, you're only going to put a double crochet up there, a chain 1, chain 2, and a double crochet. So continue on and meet me at the end. Meet me at the end of row 5. Okay, when you get to the end of row 5, stop at the last 3 doubles. We're going to go to the last 3 doubles, and this is how you will end all of yours. At the last 3 stitches, you're going to double into the next 3 stitches. So you're going to double, double, and double. And then when you get to the very last chain 3, or they call it the top of the turning chain, you're going to put that increase in there. So that's 2. Okay? And then you're finished. You shouldn't have to count anymore if you did it right, but you could count. It should be the same count as row 4 because we did not increase. So you're still going to have 150, 160, 200, and 220 because there's no increase. So now, to further out this, on this particular one that I'm wearing, I went out about 12 rows. And the way you can count your rows is if you look at it, I just look at the spaces and I count the spaces. Each one of those spaces represent a row. And then I counted from the neck, and I went right here to where I started, and that was like 11 rows. So when you get to whatever area you want to start your armhole, I want you to stop. When you get there, I'm going to show you how to do your armhole because I don't think I have enough time, 3 minutes, to do that, to get you going on that. I could try, let's see, if we pretend like this was 11 rows, you would stop and you would count over. So I'm going to need to give you, what I'll do then is give you the numbers that you need to do this for your yoke, and that's enough time. And then you can put your markers in, and when we start tape 3, you'll be good to go. Alright, so let me give you your count. Stop the tape, grab your pen and paper, and then come right back. Alright, so what we're going to do right here is we're going to, what they call, divide the yoke. So what you're going to be making is your 2 front panels and your back panels, but at the same time you're going to be putting markers where you're under your arm where you're going to connect together. So the easiest way that I found to do it is the numbers that I give you, you're going to count from here, from this left front, and count over however many stitches and put a marker. Then I go over to the other side and I do the same thing so that both my front panels are correct. And I count from here over however many stitches, and I put a marker. Once I do that, there's another set of numbers I'm going to give you, and you go over and you put the next marker there. That's your underarm. And then the rest is your back. The part that you don't do will be your back, because you'll go back over on the other front panel from the first marker, and you'll count over however many stitches I give you, put the marker there, and that's your underarm. And then all your back will be open. So that's how we're dividing the yoke. So write these numbers down for me. And just write them just like this. Write 20, 25, 30, and 35. And if you still have your other paper, if you put it right up underneath your small, medium, large, and extra large, you'll be right on time. Then I want you to put 50, 55, 70, and 75. Then I want you to put 100, 105, 130, and 145. And the last set of numbers I'm going to give you is 130, 135, 170, and 185. And those numbers in that order represent small, medium, large, and extra large. And what you'll do is choose which one you're working with. All right? So with the first set of numbers, I want you to put a marker there. The second set of numbers I gave you, I want you to put a marker there. The third set of numbers I gave you, I want you to put a marker there. And the fourth set of numbers, I want you to put a marker there. If that doesn't make sense, this is what I need. I need you to put the first set of numbers I gave you right here. Then the next set of numbers they give you, you're going to move it over to here. Then the next set of numbers they give you, you're going to put over here. And the last set of numbers they give you, you're going to put it over here. So you just went in a complete circle. They gave you front panel, underarm, back, back, front panel. And I know if you've never done this pattern before and you've never seen it, it might sound strange. But once you see it, you'll make a lot of armholes this way. So thanks for watching. I'll get back really quick today or tomorrow and try to do the last part. Hopefully I have not driven you crazy, because I really tried to make it as simple as possible. If you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them. I take constructive criticism very well, I think. So enjoy. Hi, this is Dana with Designs by Dana, and this will be part 3 of the lace cardigan pattern from what I have on like here. This will be the last one. So what we're going to do right now, I gave you some instructions on number 2, and after I did mine, I decided that I like my way better. So I'm going to show you right quick what I ended up doing. I also told you to get markers, and I'm going to show you some different markers that I have. This string right here can also be used as a marker. But what I did was, can you see this little blue one? That's the marker. It just snaps and there's plastic. This is a marker. I just collect all different kind of markers. This is a little marker. Kind of just slides out. I like these the best. And slides in. And this is a bigger one. Okay, so I want to show you what we did. Or what I did. Get your paper with your numbers on it. And I'm going to give you my information for the one that I did. I did the small. And the small numbers were 20 and 50. I'm not going to do the last 2 sets of numbers, because the first 2 sets that I'm going to do will make that fall into place. And what all that means is, this is not 11 rows. This is, how many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is 10 rows. But for a small person, you know, their shoulders aren't as long, deep as mine. So I'm just making this one, like this will be the shoulder. I just want to show you how to make the armhole. So what I did was, I counted to 20 double crochets, and then I counted the chain 2s also. So I started at the beginning and I just counted all the stitches, including the chain 2. And I put my first marker at 20. Then my next marker is supposed to go at 50. So from 20, I'm in that chain 2. I went 21 in the chain 2, because that's a stitch. And I counted over till I got to 50. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I got to 50, and I put a marker in there. So then, instead of counting all those other numbers, I went back over on the other side, and I started at the beginning here, where my string is just waiting on me to finish out this pattern, and I counted over to 20, and then I counted 21, and on over to 50, till I got to 50. So what we're going to do with those markers are, we're going to pick back up our running thread. No, we're not. We're going to take the other end of our ball or our skein, and we're going to attach. We're going to make a slip stitch. So get your hook, and what we're going to do is we're going to go on the first marker, and I just take my marker out, and I'm going to do a slip stitch in there, leaving about, and I always do this, I leave about a 3 or 4 inch tail, and I weave my tail in. Okay, so I did a slip stitch, and I'm going to chain 10, I'm sorry. And while I'm chaining 10, I'm going to get rid of my tail. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, my tail is gone, 8, 9, 10. Now, if you feel like you need a little bit more room up under your arm, that 10 isn't enough, 10 is the pattern, is enough for it to complete a pattern. So you can kind of manipulate that a little different if you like. So here we go. So I'm going to take that 10 that I just did, and I'm going to reach over here, and I'm going to get this other marker, this next marker, and I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to slip stitch into that space where that marker was at. So I slip stitch into that place where that marker was. I'm going to pull up a tail of about 3 inches and cut it. Pull it through the loop. Normally at this time I just go ahead and weave that tail in to get rid of it, so when I come back I can just crochet right over it, because I don't like anything sticking out. And I actually do something different with this part. I don't even stop and cut because I don't like yarns to have to weave in. But I'm going to teach you what the pattern says, and then as you work the pattern you'll probably figure out different ways you can do it also. Okay, so now if you look at this, this is the front panel, and here is the sleeve. We just made a sleeve. We made an opening right there. See there? Your arm. And if you try it on, once you get it done, you try it on and make sure that's right, if that feels right. And if it doesn't, and I would try that on before I cut the thread, so you can back it out and do it again, because you may need to do another 1 or 2 rows if it feels too tight up under your arm. Like I said, I've only gone down about 10 rows here, so this is for a small person. So the same thing I did here, I'm going to go over on this side, and I'm going to find the first marker, and I'm going to slip stitch into that one, leaving about a 4 inch tail. Oops, what did I do? 10, 20. What's right here? I know where it's at. I think I know where it's at. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, second one. Alright, so I'm going to slip stitch into there, leaving me a little tail, and I'm going to chain up 10. Alright, so you do the same thing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And don't do them tight. Do them loosely. You won't have enough room to get back in there when you come around. Don't do them tight. Then go over and find the other marker. Don't do like I did and lose a spot. So just go right in there where the marker is with a slip stitch. Cut up about 3 inches or 4 inches. Pull it through. Tighten it. Now you can take your marker out, and then weave in your thread. Alright, and now what we're going to do next, And we're on whatever row you're on. If you're on 10, 12, 13, 9, whatever row you're on, and you're fine. This is just how you put your armhole in. And if for some reason you ever forget and don't put the armhole in, you just keep going, it's just a shawl that you wrap around you. And you can trim it out and all those other things. Excuse me. It's getting late here, but I wanted to get this last one finished. Okay. So now, if you look at it, I think I'm backing out my stitches over here. That's the top part of the cardigan with the hole right there for the sleeve. What we're going to do is we're going to start here with our pattern. We're going to work. When we get to that chain, we're going to just keep on with the pattern, acting as though those chains are stitches. So you have to kind of visualize it in your head. And you just go right on in and keep going. So here we go. We're at the end of the row. Should have been at the end of the row. Going to turn your work. And you're going to chain up 3. Going to go in the first stitch and come down. So you're still in the same pattern. So I probably don't really have to say the stitches. We'll work till we get over to the 10 chains. And I'll show you what to do. Hopefully to this part that you have enjoyed working this pattern. When I'm done with this, I'm going to give you a real quick brief on how to add in your sleeve. If you would like a sleeve, you don't have to do sleeves. I actually did this pattern and made a sweater coat out of homespun yarn. So if most of you know what homespun is and how thick it is, and I used a larger needle, it was beautiful. Okay, here we are. So I'm at the top of the chain 2. So I'm at 3, and I'm going to does this go up 3 or 4? It goes up 3. So I'm going to go into the first chain, and I'm going to make a double crochet. I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to go into the next chain. That's the V. Then I'm going down the hill, so then I'm going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to skip 2 chains. Hold on, I got a knot in here or something right quick. Haven't done that all day, I don't think. Been pretty lucky. Alright, so come down 3, I'm going to skip 2, and then I'm going to go up 3, 1 in my mind, 1, 2, and 3, and I'm looking where I'm at. I'm at the top of the T here, so I'm going to go in there with a double, chain 2, and go back in there with a double. Okay, so we're on track. So if you look at this, what I've just done is I picked up the pattern from where we were going. See there, here, and I want to cross the 10 and keep right on going with the pattern. So I'm going to continue on till I get over to the other side, to the other chain 10. And when you get to the other chain, if you didn't see that, rewind it, look at it again. That was fairly easy. And then the next row, just stick to your pattern. The next row, we'll do it, and then after that, maybe I'll go back and just show you how to explain to you how to put the sleeve in case you want to do a sleeve. And then that way you won't have too many parts to videos you have to look at to complete this. And once I learn how to slice and edit and all those things, it'll all be on one. And I won't have to put links, and you won't have to run around looking for me. Right now, I just don't know how to do it. None of my kids or anything seem to know how to do it, so I'm just going to have to wait till the Lord blesses me with somebody and show me what to do. So all you out there who's making these videos, they're pretty time consuming. Alright, I'm getting there. I remember the first time I saw this, I was like, oh my God, this is wonderful. I love this. After so many years of not reading patterns, every time I did a pattern, I learned a new technique. And okay, so here I am. I am at the chain 10, and the chain 10 is starting in that chain 2 space. So I'm going to go into the chain 2 space because there was one stitch there. I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to go in the first chain on of the 10 chain, so that I line up with these chains right here. So I line up with that, you know, all my holes are together. So now I'm at the top, so now I'm going to go down. So I'm going to go down 3. 1. In my mind, I'm going down. I'm just really going across the chain stitch. And I'm snagged for a second here. 1, 2, and 3. And so now I'm at the bottom of the valley when I come down 3. So I'm going to skip 2. So skipping 2, now I'm visualizing that I'm going up now. So I'm going 1, 2, 3. On this one, I'm going to work my way right into that chain 2 space again. So there's still a chain left here, so I'm going to use that one. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to go into that chain 2 space. You'll see it, so I can keep my V going right there. And then I'm going to come down 3. And then I'm skip 2. Continue my pattern to the end. When I get to the end, now you can also, like I said, change colors. Oh, you can just do so many things with this pattern. Get really, really creative. And I'm at the end, and I'm putting 2 doubles in the end. And then I turn my work. And actually at this point, you would actually try it on. I can't try it on because I'm not a small. But I did a small just so that I could go a little faster, less stitches to work with. But actually, here it is. That's your armhole. And this is your armhole. This is your front. And this is a front too, but I seamed mine together. I wanted to close it off. And I made these little shrugs for over sundresses. So if I wore them to church or something, my shoulders wouldn't be out. So here on the back, and that's the back. Alright, so we're going to do one more row, and then I'll show you. That'll give me a little bit more to work with under here before I put the armhole in. Okay? Doing good on time, I think. You know what? I think I might not be doing good on time. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do this. The concept is that we're going to start down at the base. And I think the pattern said join yarn to the 7th or the 6th chain of the underarm section. Chain 3, which is going to count as a double crochet. and you're going to work in that pattern across the sleeve stitches. And at the end of the row, you're going to join with a slip stitch and 2 double crochets per, went down to another row. You're going to join with a slip stitch, and then you're going to turn, and you're going to continue in that fashion until the sleeve is the length that you would like it. You can do a 3/4, you can do a really long sleeve, and I've done, like when you get to the end, you can feather out your, ruffle it out, or there's just so many things that you can do. But so I'm going to start join yarn to the, for this one it says 7. For medium it says 6. For large it says 7. And for extra large it says 6. So join yarn to the, I'm going to join it to the 7th chain. So let me go to the 7th chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have to count in those two chains in the middle. So I know this is 10, so the middle is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to join right here in the middle. And my yarn is still connected. So hold, let me go to another, let me try another color. Alright, so I'm going to put a slip stitch in there and then just go over my slip stitch as I'm going. So I'm in the 6th, which I'm in the chain 3 spot. Actually, that's what I would do. And I'm going to chain up 3 in the chain 2 space. And I'm going to use that as the first double crochet. And then I'm going to chain 2 more. Sorry about that. And then I'm going to go back in that same space to make that V. I don't know if you can see that or understand that. But what I did was chain 3. Then I chained 2 for that chain 2 space. And then I did a double crochet. All that back in that V. In that chain 2 space. Then I'm going to go right on with the pattern. Come down 3. I worked my tail right in as I was working. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm at the bottom. Can you see it? So I'm going to skip 2. And I'm going to work my way back up. I'm going right on up the sleeve. Right on up the top of the sleeve. So I'm going to go right into the pattern. So this is down. So do I have 2 downs? That doesn't look right. 2 downs. So 2 downs. And then I'm going to go, I'm going to follow the pattern and see what's happened here when I get around. And then just show you how easy it is just to change colors too. I'm not talking much, I'm just following the pattern right now. All the way around. Okay, when I get back around here, I'm going up. So 1, 2, 3. And then I need to go up, so that would be chain 2 and go into that one. Alright, then I'm coming down and connect. Alrighty, now Do you see how I connected that? I just followed the pattern, and then you just keep doing that. Now, for some reason, if you have really thick arms in this area and you feel like it's too tight, you could do that decrease. You can do that increase row on number 4 that we did, where you just put 2 doubles in here, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and do that for 1 row, and then that'll give you more fabric to work with. So right here, see, a little fat for me, but I'll push it up on there. See, beautiful. Just keep on going, but I would have my own size. I would probably be an extra large, and it would lay right there, and it looked really nice. Yeah. Now the only thing I'm concerned about is, seems like I have, based on what that pattern says, I have 2 peaks, and I shouldn't have 2 peaks. So I wouldn't start on the 6th or 7th stitch, because I think that's why I ended up changing it. And that could be just the error in the pattern that I didn't like, and so I ended up just doing it differently. And you'll find that sometimes all patterns aren't perfect, and you have to work through them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to suggest, just so we can stay on pattern, I'm going to start up at the top and work my way down, so that when I get to these parts here to meet, I can either go down in the valley, or I can make it go up the hill. So I'm going to start up here at the top and work my way down and see what happens. But you know what? No, I got to start at the bottom, because I'm going to slip stitch together, and you want all of that work up under the bottom. You don't want anything to look flawed up here at the top. So we're going to work through this. I'm going to start right here in the corner. And the only thing I don't like is that when you keep doing the pattern up, this one should be down. I'm not liking any of this. Let me back it out. Good thing I'm working this out with you guys through the pattern. I might have to just start over and do it again. I'm not sure. Let me see. Alright, so it said go across a chain. This will be, that's where my mistake was. I did a V up, and I should have did a V down. Okay, so I went down, this was up, and then remember I told you had to visualize when you're going down the hill and up the hill? Okay, this would be an up. So when I do 3 double crochets, those should go down. 3 double crochets. Then I'm going to skip 2 and go into the next one with a double crochet, double crochet, and a double crochet. Then when I get over to this corner, this one will be a peak going up, so I go on that last chain, and then I chain 2 and go in the next space over there, you'll see it, and then continue on with the pattern. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I decided not to stop the tape and start all over, because like I said, we all make mistakes, and it was good that I worked through this mistake so that you can see it, so in case the same thing happens to you. And alright, so I'm going to be all done over here. I'm going to take you back to the arm again right quick and show you that again. So like 1, 2, 3, I'm at the end, and I'm putting 2 doubles in there. Okay, that's done. So I'm just picking up this other color. I'm coming back over here, and it said in the 6th stitch, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would be this decrease right here. So you have to go in the direction that you're crocheting. So I have to start down here, have you start in the middle. I really don't, but I'm going to try it again, do what the pattern says. It's been so long since I've done a pattern, I just do it from my head. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we're going up the hill here. So that one acts as 1. This is 2. And this is 3. And then I'm going up the hill. So I have to go in, chain 2, go into that space, make my peak, and then come down. Because you're joining everything right here. It looks kind of foreign in here, but you got to remember your pattern. It's going to be under your arms. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to skip 2. Just keep looking at your pattern and following your pattern. Now I'm back up to the top of the heel. Chain 2. Okay. So now I'm coming down, skipping 2, going back up to the peak, going down, skipping 2, get ready to come over to my beginning too, skipping 2, headed back up. So alright, so I'm going right here, I'm heading back up. So I'm going to take my 2 circles and bring them together. 2 doubles and go right back in there. Alright, and now we're going down. And this is where it tells you to slip stitch at. 1, 2, 3. So then I'll come over here, pull those 2 together, and slip stitch. And then they tell you to turn, chain 3. You're going to turn around and go back the other way. Because remember, this pattern is work back and forth. And the reason it's back and forth is because you get to one end, you turn around and go back the other way. So if you took this and continued just to go the same way, the pattern would be different than this. So you have to turn your work. You get to the end, slip stitch, chain up 3, and just remember where you're at in the pattern, and use that first one as a double crochet. So that would be 2, 3, and then when I get up to that space, I'm going to put that hole in there, chain 2. Now something else I did that I didn't, when I was doing it, I didn't like that hole being bigger. Instead of putting chain 2s in there, I put chain 1s in there. So it didn't look, it looked more uniform, depending on what size needle hook you were using. And then come on down. You just keep going around, and then you can just play with it. 2, skipping 2, do 1 more, and then that should be enough. And if, like I said, you have any questions or concerns, you can always give me a call or email me or whatever, and I'll get back with you, because I'd sure like to see you complete some. And if you make one, send me a link or something so I can see it. Wonderful. And this was fun. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there. Let's see how the sleeve is just going already. And I mean, it just blends right in. You don't even see that it was connected, and you can go along with it. And I've done all kind of things. I don't have any in here on the wall that I've done that I can show you right now. But, and the other thing I'd like to tell you is, once you get it together, if you want to put a border, or even if you want to put buttonholes or something, get you a little pattern for buttonholes, but buttonholes are really easy. I just do some singles around it. I frame around the neck and come back down for 2 rows, and then the side that the buttonhole goes on, I just chain 2, skip 2. Go down a little more, chain 2, skip 2. Go down a little more, and then that's when you come back, close it in, that makes your button. And then you just keep on going. So I think you will like this. I really do. I'm glad I was able to get it in on 3 parts. And best wishes, and be blessed. Thanks for joining me.